Before we begin, I want you to ask yourself something. When was the last time you said no to your family and yes to yourself? If you can't remember, this story is for you. Stay until the end, because what happened when I finally chose myself will surprise you, and it might just change your life too. I was in my kitchen, laughing with my friend Carol about our upcoming book club trip to Napa Valley, when my phone rang. It was Lena, my daughter. "Hi, honey," I answered cheerfully. "Mom, I need to talk to you about something." Her voice had that edge to it, the one that meant she wanted something. "Of course. What is it?" "Ryan and I are going to a marriage retreat this weekend. It's really important for us. We need you to watch John and Liz." I glanced at the calendar on my refrigerator. This weekend. The same weekend Carol, Susan, and I had planned our spa day for the past 2 months. "Oh, Lena, I can't this weekend. I have plans with my friends." Silence. The kind of silence that feels like a storm gathering. Plans? What kind of plans? "I'm going to a spa resort. Just for the weekend. We've had it booked for months." "A spa?" Her voice went up an octave. "Mom, this is important. Ryan and I are trying to save our marriage. You're going to choose a spa day over helping your own daughter?" My chest tightened. This was the guilt I knew so well. The guilt that had ruled my life for 60 years. "Lena, I'm sorry about your marriage struggles, but I've been looking forward to this. Surely you can find another babysitter." "Another babysitter? Mom, these are your grandchildren, not some random kids. John and Liz ask for you all the time, and you're too busy being what, Lena?" "Being selfish. Ever since Dad died, you've changed. You're always out with your friends, taking trips, doing God knows what. You act like you're 25 instead of 60. It's embarrassing." The words hit me like a slap. Embarrassing? Yes. Do you know what people say? They see you and your friends at restaurants, hear about your trips. You're acting like some party girl instead of a grandmother. It's not dignified. You should be helping with the twins, not gallivanting around like you don't have responsibilities. Something inside me snapped, not in anger, in clarity. "Lena, I've been a mother since I was 22 years old. I raised you. I gave up my career to stay home with you. I did everything for you and your father for 38 years. Your dad died 3 years ago, and for the first time in my life, I have the freedom to live for myself. And yes, I'm going to that spa." "I can't believe you. You know what? Fine, be that way. But don't come crying to me when John and Liz forget who you are because their grandmother is too busy acting like a teenager to spend time with them." She hung up. I stood there, phone in hand, shaking, not from fear, from something else, something that felt almost like freedom.
Let me tell you about the years before that phone call. My husband, Richard, died suddenly of a stroke 3 years ago. We were married for 38 years. He was my world. My identity was built around him and Lena. I was Richard's wife, Lena's mother. That's who I was. When Richard died, I was 57 years old. For the first time since I was 22, I was alone, truly alone. The grief was crushing. I didn't know who I was without him. I wandered around our house like a ghost, touching his things, sleeping on his side of the bed, eating cereal for dinner because cooking for one felt pointless. Lena came by every day at first, checking on me, bringing the twins, and I was grateful. Those babies kept me alive during those dark months. Every Tuesday and Thursday, Lena would drop them off for the day. Every weekend, I'd take them so she and Ryan could have couple time. I became the on-call grandmother, the emergency babysitter, the reliable one. And it filled the void, for a while. But about a year ago, something shifted. Carol invited me to a painting class. I almost said no. I don't paint, I told her. I wouldn't be any good. So what? She laughed. Come have fun. That painting class changed everything. I discovered I loved it, loved the feel of the brush in my hand, loved choosing colors, loved creating something that was mine. I started taking more classes, joined a book club, started going to wine tastings with my friends, took a weekend trip to the coast, and I felt alive again, not as Richard's widow, not as Lena's mother, as Anne, just Anne. But Lena didn't like it. Mom, you're going out again? She'd say when I told her I couldn't babysit. Mom, another trip? Don't you think that's excessive? Mom, at your age, shouldn't you be slowing down? At my age, I was 60 years old, not 90. I was healthy, active, and for the first time in decades, I was happy. But every time I chose myself, the guilt came flooding back. Until that phone call.
That Friday, I packed my bag and met Carol and Susan at Carol's car. Susan took one look at my face and said, "Lena gave you hell, didn't she?" "How did you know?" "Because my daughter did the same thing to me last year. They think we're supposed to stop living once we become grandmothers." The spa weekend was glorious. We got massages, sat in hot tubs, drank wine, and laughed until our stomachs hurt. I felt 20 years younger. But my phone kept buzzing, text after text from Lena. "Hope you're enjoying yourself while your daughter's marriage falls apart. The twins asked for you today. I told them Grandma was too busy. You've changed, Mom, and not in a good way." I turned my phone off. On Sunday morning, as we were having breakfast on the resort terrace, Susan asked, "Do you feel guilty?" "Yes," I admitted. "Terribly." "Good," she said. "That means you're human. But Anne, listen to me. Guilt is how they control us. Our children, our families. They make us feel guilty for having lives of our own because it's convenient for them when we don't." "But she's my daughter, and those are my grandchildren. And you're your own person. When does your life get to be about you?" I didn't have an answer. When I got home Sunday evening, there was a car in my driveway. Lena's car. She was sitting on my porch steps, arms crossed, face tight with anger. "Hi, honey," I said carefully, pulling my suitcase from the trunk. "Did you have fun?" Her voice was ice. "I did, actually." "Great, that's just great. While you were getting massages and drinking wine, do you know what I was doing?" "Lena, I was dealing with 2 5-year-olds by myself because their grandmother couldn't be bothered to help. Ryan and I barely spoke at the retreat. The whole thing was a disaster. And you were at a spa." She stood up, and I saw tears in her eyes. "Ever since Dad died, you've become this person I don't recognize. You don't care about family anymore. You don't care about me or the twins. All you care about is yourself and your friends and your stupid hobbies." "That's not true." "Yes, it is. You used to always be available, always there when I needed you. Now you have excuses every time I ask for help. What happened to you, Mom?" I set down my suitcase. It was time to tell the truth. What happened to me? I found myself again, Lena.
That's what happened. Found yourself? What does that even mean? It means that for 38 years, I was someone's wife and someone's mother. I gave up my dreams of being an art teacher to raise you. I stayed home while your father built his career. I drove you to soccer, helped with homework, planned birthday parties, cooked thousands of dinners. I loved doing it. I loved being your mom. But it was also exhausting and lonely sometimes, and I lost myself in it. So now you're blaming me for your choices? No, I'm explaining them to you. When your father died, I was devastated, lost. I didn't know who I was without him. And you and the twins gave me purpose again. But Lena, being a grandmother can't be my only purpose. I'm 60 years old. If I'm lucky, I have 20 or 30 good years left. And I want to live them, really live them. By abandoning your family? By having a life outside my family. There's a difference. She shook her head. This is so selfish. Maybe it is. But Lena, answer me this. When was the last time you asked me how I was doing? When was the last time you invited me to dinner at your house instead of dropping the kids off at mine? When was the last time you treated me like a person instead of a free babysitting service? Her face flushed. That's not fair. Isn't it? I love John and Liz more than anything, but I am not your on-call childcare. I am not obligated to drop everything every time you need help. I have a life too, and I'm finally living it. Fine, she said, her voice shaking. You want to be selfish? Be selfish. But don't expect me to bring the kids around anymore. Since you're too busy for us, we'll be too busy for you. She got in her car and drove away. I stood in my driveway watching her taillights disappear, and instead of guilt, I felt something unexpected. Relief. Lena didn't call for 3 weeks. Those were the longest 3 weeks of my life. I missed the twins terribly. Missed their little voices, their hugs, their sticky hands, and endless questions. I missed FaceTiming with them before bed, hearing about their day at kindergarten, but I didn't back down. I didn't call and apologize. I didn't offer to babysit. I kept living my life. I took my painting class, went to book club, had dinner with my friends. But at night, alone in my house, I wondered if I'd made the right choice. Carol kept reassuring me. She'll come around. She just needs time to adjust to the new you. What if she doesn't? I asked. Then that's her loss. And you are not responsible for managing your adult daughter's emotions. You are not responsible for her marriage or her childcare needs. You raised her. Your job is done. Now it's your turn. Still, the silence hurt. On a Thursday evening, 4 weeks after our fight, my doorbell rang. It was Lena, and she looked different, smaller somehow, tired. Can I come in? She asked, quietly. Of course. We sat in my living room, the same room where she grew up, where we'd had 1,000 conversations over the years, but this felt different, like we were meeting as adults for the first time. She owed me an apology. A big one. I waited. Ryan and I have been going to therapy, individual and couples, and my therapist asked me something that I couldn't stop thinking about. She asked me when I started seeing you as a resource instead of a person. Tears filled her eyes. And Mom, I couldn't answer. Because I realized that's exactly what I've been doing. Ever since Dad died, I've just expected you to be there, to help with the kids, to drop everything when I needed you. I never asked if you were okay. I never thought about what you might want or need. I just assumed you'd always be available. Lena, Let me finish. Please. When you said no to that weekend, I was so angry. But it wasn't really about the spa. It was because you were changing the rules. You were supposed to be the mom who always said yes, the grandmother who always helped. And when you started saying no, I felt like I was losing you. She wiped her tears. But I wasn't losing you. I was just losing the version of you that I'd created in my head, the version that existed only to serve me, and that was so unfair. I reached over and took her hand. I love being a grandmother. I love those kids more than I can express. But you're right. I was losing myself in that role, just like I lost myself in being a wife and mother all those years. And I can't do that again. I won't. I understand that now, and I'm so sorry for calling you selfish. You're not selfish. You're just finally living. And you deserve that. God, Mom, you deserve that so much. We both cried then, the kind of crying that releases years of unspoken hurt and misunderstanding.
The next Saturday, Lena brought the twins over, but this time was different. "We're inviting you to lunch," she said, "at that new Italian place downtown, our treat." At lunch, John and Liz climbed all over me, showing me their new drawings, telling me about school. I soaked up every second. "Grandma, why didn't you come see us?" Liz asked, her little face serious. "Well, sweetie, Grandma and Mommy needed to have some grown-up talks, but I missed you so much." "We missed you too. Can you come to my soccer game next week?" I looked at Lena. She smiled and nodded. "I would love to." After lunch, as we walked to our cars, Lena said, "Mom, I want to do things differently. I want to actually plan time with you, not just call you when I need help. Real time, where we talk and the kids play, and we're just together. I'd like that. And if you're busy, if you have plans with your friends, I promise I'll understand. I'll find other childcare. I'll figure it out. Because you're right, you're not my free babysitter. You're my mom, and I need to treat you like that. Thank you, honey." She hugged me tight. "I love you, and I'm proud of you for standing up for yourself, even to me." It's been 6 months since that phone call that started everything. My life looks completely different now. I still see the twins regularly, but on my terms. We have special grandma days once a week, just me and them doing something fun. The zoo, the children's museum, baking cookies at my house. But I also have grandma nights with Carol and Susan, book club, wine tastings. Last month, we took a 2-week trip to Italy. It was magical. Lena and Ryan are doing better. They're in counseling, working on their marriage, and Lena has stopped expecting me to fix everything for her. She's growing up, really growing up. And so am I. People ask me if I regret saying no that weekend, if I think I was too harsh with Lena. The answer is no. That weekend, that choice, was the beginning of me reclaiming my life. For so many years, I believed that being a good mother, a good grandmother, meant always being available, always saying yes, always putting everyone else first. But I was wrong. Being a good mother means teaching your daughter that women have value beyond what they do for others. It means modeling self-respect and boundaries. It means showing her that it's okay, necessary even, to choose yourself sometimes. And being a good grandmother means loving those children fiercely, while also being a whole, complete person outside of that role. I am Anne. I am an artist, a friend, a traveler,
a book lover, a wine enthusiast. I am a woman who still has dreams and desires and a whole life ahead of her. And yes, I'm also a grandmother, a damn good one. But that's not all I am.
Last week, something happened that made me realize how far we've come. Lena called me on a Tuesday morning. I saw her name on my screen and felt that old flutter of anxiety, the one that wondered what she'd need, what I'd have to give up. But when I answered, she said, "Hi, Mom. I just called to say I love you and to ask how your painting class went yesterday." I almost cried. It was wonderful. We're working on landscapes. Mine is terrible, but I'm having fun. She laughed. I'd love to see it sometime. Maybe I could come over this weekend. Not to drop off the kids, just me. We could have coffee and talk. I'd love that, honey. After we hung up, I sat for a long moment, grateful. Grateful that I said no. Grateful that I stood my ground. Grateful that it led us here, to a relationship built on mutual respect instead of obligation and guilt. If you're reading this and you see yourself in my story, if you're the mother or grandmother who always says yes, who always drops everything, who has lost herself in service to others, please hear this. It's not selfish to have a life. It's not selfish to have hobbies, friends, trips, dreams. It's not selfish to say no. You raised your children. You did your job, and you did it well. But your job now is not to sacrifice yourself on the altar of their convenience. Your job now is to live. Really, truly live. Not wait around for grandchildren to visit, not exist only in relation to others, but to pursue your own joy, your own interests, your own adventures. Because here's the truth they don't tell you. You are not just someone's mother or someone's grandmother. You are a complete, complex, valuable human being who deserves a full, rich, beautiful life. And it's never too late to claim it. When Lena called me selfish, when she said I was acting inappropriately for my age, she was really saying, stop changing. Go back to being the person who always puts me first. But I couldn't do that because that person was disappearing, dying a little more every day. The woman I am now, she's alive, vibrant, happy. And my relationship with my daughter is better because of it, because I'm modeling something important for her, that women don't expire at 60, that becoming a grandmother doesn't mean the end of your own story. It means a new chapter, a chapter where you get to be the main character. This morning, I woke up early, made myself coffee, sat on my back porch watching the sunrise. In a few hours, I'm meeting Carol and Susan for brunch. Tomorrow, I'm teaching a beginner's painting class at the community center, something I started doing 3 months ago. Next week, John has a school play that I'll be front row for. My life is full, beautifully, wonderfully full. But it's my life, not an extension of someone else's. And that makes all the difference. Lena texted me this morning, "Love you, Mom. Proud of you." 3 years ago, when Richard died, I thought my life was over. I was wrong. It was just beginning. So here's my question for you. Are you living for yourself, or are you living for everyone else? Are you waiting for permission to pursue your dreams, or are you brave enough to claim them now? If this story touched you, I want you to do something. Not for me, for yourself. Think of one thing you've been putting off because you feel guilty, because someone might judge you, because you think you're too old or it's not appropriate. And do it. This week. Book that trip. Take that class. Say that no. Choose yourself. Because your life isn't over at 60 or 70 or 80. Your life is still happening right now, and you deserve to live it fully. Remember, the people who love you will adjust. The people who don't? Well, that tells you something too. You are not selfish for having a life. You are brave, and it's never, ever too late to start living for yourself. Now go. Live, and don't apologize for it. The day I said no to my daughter was the day I said yes to myself. And that yes changed everything. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. Share with your friends.